Good morning, Team McAuliffe. Today is Wednesday, March 16th, 2022, and we will now begin our day together with morning announcements. Please stand quietly and respectfully for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now have a moment of silence to think about what we are going to do to make the McAuliffe School a safe and happy place for all students and staff. So we do have a birthday at the McAuliffe School today. It is Lucci's birthday in room 4. Happy birthday, Lucci. Hope that you have a great day today. Looking at our National Days calendar, today is National Panda Awareness Day. The panda bear is one of the world's most endangered animals. That means that there are not very many of them left in the world. There are only about 1,800 pandas left in the whole world, out in the wild, and about 100 in captivity. So today, we spread awareness about the panda bear in hopes that efforts can save it from being endangered or becoming extinct altogether. To celebrate, let's check out this video of a cute panda bear in action. Wasn't that a cool video? That panda really wanted up on that swing. Happy National Panda Awareness Day today. Now looking at our March book madness, we have another book that we didn't get to in the morning announcements for round 1. And it is going up against Norman Didn't Do It. Yes, he did. Let's check out Sharice's big voice.
Hi, my name is Tabitha and I went to the Pawtucketville.
My name's AK and I went to McAvenue.
And today we're going to be reading this amazing book called Sharice's Big Voice.
I love this book because it shows that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it.
And it just shows you can overcome any obstacle with a little help from your friends. But before we read the book, let's just talk a bit about us. We're part of the Student Council, the Black Unity Club, the STEM team, and Student Advisory Council.
I am part of the drill team and ROTC.
And I'm also part of the yearbook. But let's get into the book.
This is a picture of me and my mom the night I was elected to Congress. When I see this, I think of how amazing it is I won. I think of how amazing it is I even tried to win. When I was young, I never thought I'd be in Congress. And I never thought I'd be one of the first Native American women in Congress.
During the race, I heard a lot of doubters. They thought I couldn't win based on what I looked like, who I loved, or where I started. But here's the thing. Everyone's path has obstacles. Some more than others. Everyone faces challenges and people doubt them. Sometimes we even doubt ourselves. Everyone's path looks different, but let me tell you a bit about mine.
When I was younger, I liked to talk a lot, and I still do. I talk to my family, my friends' family. I talk to my neighbors, people shopping in the store, people working in the store. I wanted to know things about people. Did they move often? Had they ever seen the martial artist Bruce Lee kick through a wall? And did they also hate onions on their pizza?
I hate onions on my pizza.
Me too.
My mom likes to talk too. Watching her, I saw how good conversations can make people happy. You start as strangers, but then you share ideas, you learn about each other. Maybe you learn they move 4 times, and they love Bruce Lee. And unlike me, they don't care if their pizza comes with onions. I still care a lot.
Sometimes I get in trouble for talking too much. Okay, more than sometimes. My teacher even moved me by her desk, and then that didn't even stop me. "Charisse," she finally said, "move to the hall to finish your work. You can't talk out there." But she was wrong. I just talked to whoever passed by.
One day, a boy in my class grew upset. So upset, he bolted out of the classroom. "Charisse," my teacher said, "can you get him to come back?" When I found him outside, I did what I always do. I started talking. But then he started talking, and I listened. But that was all my friend needed, and we went back to class. I was getting better at listening. I learned that listening gives people room to be themselves, to feel angry or sad or happy. I discovered that the best way to learn about people is by listening to them.
My friends at school were confused about me because I looked different from them. They always asked, "What are you, Charisse?" So one day I asked my mom, "What am I?" "You're Native American," my mom said. After she told me that, it wasn't a nice question to ask people. "We're members of the Ho-Chunk Nation," she said. I learned my mom was removed from her family and told to pretend she wasn't a Ho-Chunk. Our nation is mostly in Wisconsin, and my aunts and cousins live. We're related to the Winnebago tribe in Nebraska.
We used to all be one people, but long ago, the U.S. government forced the tribes to move away from their homeland. I also learned that we called ourselves people of the big voice, which obviously fits me.
My big voice came in handy every time I started a new school. My mom was in the Army for 20 years, so we moved back and forth between Germany, Kansas, and Missouri. At every school, I made friends by talking and listening. I knew a good conversation could break down walls, just like Bruce Lee.
In Germany, a soldier taught me martial arts for free. I wanted to keep taking lessons when we returned home, but my mom couldn't afford them, so I watched Bruce Lee movies all the time. He could do anything, round kicks, palm strikes, flying arm bars. I ran around the house punching and kicking, trying to copy him. While my mom was being strong and fierce at work, I was being strong and fierce at home. But maybe we shouldn't be kicking walls.
When I was 13, I went to my mom's work for a special ceremony. She had earned a promotion to a higher level in the Army, Sergeant First Class. My mom asked me to pin the special sergeant patch on her uniform. I watched her stand at attention in her Army fatigues, an American flag behind her. I felt so proud.
It took years for her to earn this promotion. I knew how hard she worked, and I knew I wanted to be just like her when I grew up. Focused and fierce, confident and kind, a person who serves others.
I learned how to work hard by watching my mom. I sold newspaper subscriptions and worked in the pizza restaurant. No onions on mine. Later, I paid for college by working in a fast food restaurant, making burgers, cleaning bathrooms, and calming upset customers. I learned you can't always fix someone's complaint. When you're out of the mustard, you're out of the mustard, but you can listen. And you can do something to make them feel better, like maybe free ice cream.
In college, I used part of each of my paychecks for martial art lessons, so I could finally learn how to fight like Bruce Lee. Jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, comprendo. I could land a punch and defend against a palm strike. But more important, I learned that when I worked hard at something, I got better at it, even if I couldn't do it right away.
I trained every day for years. Finally, I was ready for my first mixed martial arts fight. I was so nervous, but I knew I was prepared. Standing in the ring, I thought about my training, all those hours of practicing, and then the bell rang. We met in the middle of the ring, and I pounced on my opponent. In less than a minute, I won my fight. And with my favorite move, a triangle hold.
The crowd cheered. With my arm raised high, I realized it felt good to win. But it even felt better knowing that I won because I'd worked so hard. You know how that feels, right?
At the same time that I was fighting in the ring, I started a journey with a different kind of battle. I decided to enroll in law school so I can work to make our U.S. laws more just and fair.
I didn't know anyone who was both Native and an attorney. I didn't even know any attorneys, but martial arts taught me not to be afraid of new challenges. A friend told me about a program for Native Americans preparing to be lawyers, and I signed up. It was the first time in my life that I'd sat in a classroom surrounded by Native American people. It felt powerful. No one in the room asked you, Charisse, what are you?
Once I had my law degree, I worked in a big law firm, but it didn't feel right. It just didn't feel like my path.
So I moved to a reservation in South Dakota. I saw that my Native friends there didn't have any kind of opportunities I had in Kansas. So I used my legal skills to help them start businesses. I learned a lot living there, and my life is better for it.
Working with Native American tribes, I saw that the people who make up the American government don't always see how the laws they make impact the people they represent. I wanted to change that, so I went to work in the White House.
That's great. There, I saw how laws were made, but I didn't see people who looked like my family. I didn't see people who'd grown up with me. What if that changed? I wondered, what if everyone's voice was heard by the people making our laws?
That's when I had to be bold. Brave idea that I would need my big voice, my ability to listen, and my ability to take a punch. Turns out, a lot of punches. Can you guess what I'm talking about?
I decided to run for U.S. Congress. Our government needed different voices, more people who would listen. I had doubters, people who didn't think I could win, or that I shouldn't even run. But do you think I listened to them?
In the beginning, the campaign team was small enough to fit around a kitchen table. But as we walked through neighborhoods, more people joined us. Our campaign made room for everyone.
We listened to everyone. People who couldn't afford to see a doctor, moms whose job didn't pay enough to give their kids more opportunities, every child who ever been asked, what are you? In our campaign, we listened to every voice.
The night of the election, I hoped we'd win. I knew how hard everyone had worked on the campaign, and I knew how important it was for their voices to be heard.
I watched the election results on TV in a small room with my best friend, my family, and my campaign team with my partner. We laughed, we talked, we ate macaroni and cheese. When the results came in, I'd won. By a lot. I walked out of the small room into a ballroom and saw smiling faces of people who helped me with my campaign. As they cheered and clapped, I climbed onto the stage with my mom and we lifted our arms. We did it. I felt like everyone, every voice was raising up with me.
Growing up, I never would have guessed my path would lead me into Congress. I didn't know I would be one of the first Native American women in Congress and the first lesbian representative from Kansas. Everyone's path is different, and wherever yours takes you, maybe the lessons I learned can help. Be open to challenges, work hard, and you'll learn by a lot. Listen to people, but not the doubters. Use your big voice to fight for your beliefs. And always remember, you deserve to be seen and heard.
That was a great book. I hope you guys liked it.
In Lowell, books always win.
What a great message about perseverance and reaching your goals, something that we know a lot about at the McAuliffe School because we have set goals for ourselves that we are also trying to reach. Now it's up to you. Was that enough for Charisse's big voice to beat Norman Didn't Do It? Yes, he did. In round 2 of March Book Madness. You'll vote tomorrow. Can't wait to see who the winner is of that great matchup there. Yesterday, we had Tuesday Trivia with Miss Sargent, and she asked us, what color do we wear for St. Patrick's Day? And if you said green, you got that answer correctly. You don't want to get pinched by the leprechaun, so make sure that you wear green tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day. I've got all the correct answers in the wheel. Let's spin it and find out who our winner is. Okay, here we are, ready to spin the wheel and find out who our winner is for this week's Tuesday Trivia. And the winner is Awani in room 117. Congratulations, be on the lookout for your prize in your teacher's mailbox. Don't worry if you didn't win this week. There's plenty more Tuesday trivia coming your way in the weeks to come. Now today we have the harvest of the month from Mill City Grows being served in the cafeteria. Our special meal for today is a charcuterie platter, and it is going to feature the harvest of the month, which is dairy, in the cheese stick from Smith Country Cheese right here in Massachusetts. Make sure that you pick one of those up while you're in the cafeteria today. Hope that everybody enjoys that special lunch for today. So I think that's all of our announcements for today. Remember, McAuliffe students are stars. That means we strive to do our best. We take responsibility. We're always positive and kind, and we respect ourselves and others. If everybody remembers to be a star today, then we will have a wonderful Wednesday. Have a great day, McAuliffe School.